Man, you just gotta love the OCG. They're crazy. 77 top performing decks, 13 tournaments. Japan only, November 6th to 10th. Look at this. Look at this pie chart. 32.5% were Phantom Knight. 24 out of the 25 were like the control build. So Destiny Hero, Phoenix Enforcer, and Brave Token. And only one of them was combo. So I'm pretty sure there's a clear distinction between both. Second best deck. Oh, will you look at this, man? Flunderies. Again, when I said the deck was gonna be tier 1, people were like, nah, you're capping, bro. The deck is tier 2 at max, probably even worse than that. Okay, yeah, sure. If you wanna argue with facts, go for it. Yeah, second best deck Flunderies. All it really needed was a card that allowed you to play through interruptions better with like a slight consistency boost, because now the deck is really hard to stop and it's inherently powerful. Like if you had that Robina and it goes through, it's really impossible for literally most meta decks to play through that Flunderies board. So this deck is absolutely no joke. It's just good by design. And then third place would be Edlich, very good deck as well. Trap cards are always really good, especially in formats that are like less super combo oriented, but at the same time they still have Drytron, so I don't know what's up. 7 Sword Soul, alright, yeah, I don't know. Sword Soul lost a lot in popularity. In the TCG though, it's the exact opposite. Sword Soul is probably one of the most popular decks right now, which I cannot understand, honestly. I think Drytron is infinitely better than Sword Soul in the TCG right now, so if you're playing Sword Soul, I don't know, maybe it's just hype, maybe it's gonna die off, but it's going to be good after a ban list. But for now, with every other deck that exists, I don't think so. Anyways, 3 Destiny Hero Sword Soul, 2 Sword Soul Pure, 1 Destiny Hero Tenyi, and then 1 Tenyi, so the majority are either playing Destiny Hero and or Tenyi. And then after that, 3 Drytron tied with Brave Prank Kids. I believe they still have 3 Meow Meow, so that's kind of different. 2 Adamantipator, 2 Lawn Mowing, Phoenix Enforcer, Invoke Shadal, 2 Megalith FTK, what in the flying frick? 2 Salamangrade, 1 Brave Dragon Link. Nani? What's the synergy? You can't even use Safert. Well, Black Metal Dragon you can still use. Okay, it's not that bad, but like, yeah. Brave, good stuff. Yeah, what an intuitive deck name. Brave Sword Soul Yangzin Tenyi, Clusterfuck. What is this? Destiny Hero Cyber Dark Orcust Chaos Dragon Link. Ruffle, LMAO, don't kill me. Oh, that's probably a 60 card deck, Lamao. Imagine if this is like magically a 40 card deck. Every single time there's like 75 engines combined at once, it just has to be a 60 card deck. It just has to, man. And usually the TCG players are the ones who play those really sketchy concoctions. But no, the OCG wanted to do it first. Alright, Destiny Hero, Frightfur, Despia, Destiny Hero, Sky Striker. A very good deck, actually, so I'm pretty shocked to see it like down here. I would expect it to be kind of like more tied with Drytron and Prank Kids. Or maybe in like the 2 category at least, or the 3, but yeah, there's also a big jump every single time you go from like one deck to another. So Flunderies, Edlich, and Sword Soul, they're kind of like in the same league, but they're not in the same league as Phantom Knight, and these 3 decks are also much higher than these other decks. So yeah, there's definitely a clear distinction. Anyways, Fluffle, again, Jesus, wow, Fluffle, Frightfur, what, can someone explain to me what the frick is Frightfur Despia and not Fluffle? Okay, sure, maybe it doesn't play like main deck Fluffle monster, probably not, I don't understand. Anyways, Hero, Medalche, Spiral, Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk, again, in the TCG, Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk is actually in the top 4 best decks, if I recall correctly. I think Shunping actually made a really interesting TCG metagame breakdown. You should actually go check it out. But yeah, anyways, 1 Adignister, not too bad, not too bad. Alright, Phantom Knight, Kikusaka. This is the world champion of 2019, the one who actually won with Salamangrate. So he won 6-2 in a really big tournament, 90 participants, and he's actually not trying to play the Artifact Scythe package at all, and Artifact Dagda is also nowhere to be seen. So what are people actually even trying to do now? Yeah, he's actually going backwards in a way. He's actually trying to play IP Masquerina with the Unicorn, so it's like more fair, but at the same time you at least don't really break with the Dagda, no, sorry, with the Scythe. Obviously, imagine breaking with an extra deck, Ruffle. But yeah, the reason for that is because with Scythe being really popular in the game, if you play against Flunderies or against Edlich, you are pretty late behind. You actually wasted a very powerful interruption. and you kind of have to do it on standby. You can't really wait until main phase, because then you actually start losing out to someone just activating Fusion Destiny on your face. So this is the reason why people are not trying to play Artifact Scythe anymore. This is probably a trend that we're actually going to be seeing in the TCG, not now though, but because of Artifact Scythe and how ridiculously powerful it is. If a tournament is heavily dominated by Scythe decks, Flunderies and Edlich are better. So yeah, just putting it out there. And this is also the reason why every other deck that really needs to summon from the extra deck is just not doing as well. But at the same time, every single one of these decks summon from the extra deck, like I said, except these two. Oh, this is the reason why they're so good, man. They're just simple in what they do, but they do it well. That's what I like about them. Anyways, this deck is actually pretty... very standard. There's nothing different it's always the same thing. I actually hate it. This is like probably the new virtual world where like the innovation is, do you play Scythe or do you play IP Masquerina or do you play Utopic Future Draco? Either way, you're only changing one card in your main deck and a couple of cards in your extra deck. But the main decks are always identical. Like, look at this, man. It's always 41 to 43 card deck. It's always like one Nibiru just so you can hit it with cross out. In the TCG, we won't have that. I do not believe anyone will actually be playing cross out Designator at all. But yeah, pretty interesting. The Phantom Knight deck is still kind of not playable at all in the TCG because we do not have the Brave token cards, but we are actually going to get them just in time for YCS Pasadena. So if you want to playtest like crazy for Pasadena, since we know for a fact that there's going to be no ban list for that event, make sure you actually playtest the Living Pancake out of the Brave token cards, because this is going to be pretty rewarding if you do that. Anyways, the extra deck, whatever, side deck, 3 Lancia, even without the Dagda. And then 3 Twin, 2 Imperm, 2 Gozen, very interesting. So he's running 2 Gozen Match against Flundery, Sword Soul, and Prank Kids. Prank Kids lose very hard to Gozen Match. Jesus, wow, very hard. Even if, yeah, there's literally nothing you can do about that. Flunderies, it's pretty much game over. I think you can only control one of each attribute. So unless you go like Wind, and then Wind, you're going to lose. And you obviously, the second you have a water on your field, you lose, because there's no tribute summon that is water. Well, I mean, no tribute summon that people play that is water. So the good ones are like Ryza, Impen, whatever, that are all wind. And Robina is water, so Robina is a part of the combo, so if you have to rely on a Robina to play, you lose. In other words, you need to go into Eaglin and Tokan in order to tribute summon through a Gozen Match. I think this is it, unless my brain is fried or something. But yeah, Sword Soul. This deck also loses quite hard to Gozen Match. I think you can go Moye into the token, and then Synchro for Dragite, but that's pretty much it. So definitely not in the Sword Soul favor either. And like I said, it's even worse for Prank Kids. But yeah, then Imperial Order, Anti-Spell, very fun cards. Everybody loves getting hit by these cards, of course. This is just stupid, man. At this point, you know your team is stacked when you already have 2 world champions in a team. What the frick? Actually, I don't know if this is his teammate. I don't think so. Anyways, Shunsuke Hiyama, this is like the double world champion, 2015-2016. Went 7-0-1, undefeated. Whoa! Finished second in a tournament with 90 participants. And yeah, okay, so yeah, it is his teammate. He's not playing Artifact Scythe, so yeah, he's doing the exact same thing as Koki Kosaka, but his deck list is slightly different because I believe he's playing 42, whereas Koki is playing 41, and he's actually side decking Ghost Reaper. Very interesting, huh? So Ghost Reaper can actually be used against the Phantom Knight deck to rip off the Destiny or Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, and the reason why this is good is because Phoenix Enforcer is kind of a necessity in order to destroy your own Scythe, so it's kind of like a 2-in-1 package deal where your opponent kind of wastes the Artifact Dagda into Scythe just to not be able to resolve the Phoenix Enforcer play. So if your opponent actually drew the brick and he goes like Anaconda, send the Fusion Destiny, and then tries to resolve thingy, then yeah, imagine drawing all those bricks just to not be able to summon your monster. That's like super freaking big rip. But it's only really good in mirror matches, and that's kind of an issue. Against Prank Kids, he's actually going for the Meow Meow Mew, as you can clearly tell. He's actually main decking 1 copy. So Shunsuke, pretty interesting with the text, because Ghost Reaper is not a card that we're seeing very often. What I'm interested with, though, is that he's not even trying to have like a backup plan, like another card like in the side deck or something, like another fusion maybe. because you could actually get screwed, exactly as they're saying. Ghost Reaper denies their 1-card combo. Like, at the same time, yeah, someone else actually went for the Battle Butler, because if your hand is like the nuts and you can still fusion summon even without the Meow Meow, you might still lose. Like, your opponent, exactly as they're saying, could go 1-for-1 or Pandemonium or Polymerization, and it just doesn't matter. Whereas if you Reaper the Battle Butler, your opponent cannot make Prank Kid's interruptions. He can really only go for like the rank 4s and Toad, which is actually still pretty dangerous, but it's not like that bad. So that's why they're saying it's like a better countermeasure. Yeah, it's the fact that also if you draw Ghost Reaper for turn, you can still go like, oh, I'll chain Reaper to like your Pandemonium, so you lose your Battle Butlers instead. So that's the reason why hitting the Battle Butler can actually kind of be better than the Meow Meow sometimes, but sometimes it's not. It really all depends on the situation. Also citing Token Collector, I don't know if I'm the biggest fan, because it's actually really not that good against Brave Token at all. It's really not that good. They still get to search the Wandering Griffin Rider, and they can still special summon it, link it off for Anaconda, and the rest of the deck doesn't really summon tokens, so you're only really... All you're really doing is just make it so the Griffin doesn't negate, which is kind of whack. You might as well just... yeah, it's just shit. Alright, Flanderies. A very whack deck list. Oh my god. Because the thing is, Nibiru is counterproductive in this deck. If you special summon on your opponent's turn, you can't use the effect of your Flanderies monsters. So Nibiru actually completely screws over your own strategy. But apart from that, I guess this guy actually thought, whatever, people lose to Nibiru, Phantom Knights, maybe. They don't always have the ability to go for like the Wandering Griffin Rider, so it's not that bad. But I'm just not sure if I'm a big fan of it. And this guy got really unlucky with his Token Collector, so what he decided to do was have a backup in the form of a Dark Rebellion into the, I think, Overlord or something like that. Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon Overload, which is pretty much similar to like a Downward Magician. So if you have like 2 Token Collector, one of them gets special summon, and then next turn you go normal summon because you're bricked, and then Rebellion, and then Overlord, and then Zeus with 4 materials. It's pretty much going like any rank 3 or lower Xyz, and then Downward and Zeus, like I said. Which is kind of interesting. It's like your backup plan, so why not? 2 Ryza is the interesting thing. No Apex Avion because people are not playing evenly matched at all. And Ryza is just the superior card in a way. You also get to loop it, so you pretty much have like a infinite grind game. I actually like that a lot. And then one bearer statue, the Flanderies monster ratios are also very correct. 2 Ostrich, 1 Tokan. This is correct. I don't know why people are playing 2 Tokan and 1 Ostrich. No. Ostrich is actually a bit better because if you have Ostrich and Eaglin, you can actually combo if you have any card that you can send to the grave, whereas if you have Token and Eaglin, you cannot unless you have Gold Sark or something like that, something else. So yeah, it's definitely not ideal. And speaking of Gold Sark, this guy is not playing Gold Sark. He's also not main decking Dimension Shifter, and the reason for that is because you might be encountering Flanderies mirror matches, and in that situation, it's just not really good to have these cards. So yeah, whatever. Nibiru and Maxi, also cards that just do nothing against Flanderies. So a bunch of dead cards. Imagine if he was playing even more dead cards. Ash is obviously such a bad card that if you don't lose to Maxi, there's no reason for you to play Ash, so it's just a one of whatever. It's just so you can draw it off of Maxi. That's really it. I'm pretty sure this is probably the same reasoning behind Nibiru as well. Oh, whatever. If I draw it off of Maxi, I can use it. But yeah, 3 of the Quick Play spell card that is completely broken, 4 field spells, Prosperity, 2 Extravagance, 2 Duality, only 2. I love this card. 2 Call by the Grave, which is only acceptable when you're not playing D-Shifter, and then Harpy's Feather Duster in the main deck, kind of sus. NGL is also not playing the continuous spell, so this is his only out to Mystic Mine. And yeah, triple Imperm, 1 City or Dream or whatever. And for the extra deck, I don't really have to go through it because it's freaking Flanderies. For the side deck, Phantasme, apparently people really like this card, wow. And it's pretty good against the Phantom Knight deck, not gonna lie. And then, yeah, 2 D-Shifter, 3 Token Collector, triple Twin, Lightning Storm, double evenly. And alright, Harpy's Feather Storm, again, thank you so much for not being stupid and main decking this card. I kept saying main decking Harpy's Feather Storm in a deck that isn't Harpy's is very stupid, and some people were like, I don't know why. Okay, it's like saying, would you main deck Anti-Spell and freaking, I don't know, like 10 billion like floodgates in a going first deck that just doesn't do that much going second? Of course not. You want to balance it out with going second cards too. You don't want to play only going first cards. And in Harpy's, at least Harpy's Feather Storm actually breaks boards because you can use it as a hand trap, but in this deck you can't. So it's way worse. So yeah, very important to know that. And apart from that, I mean, yeah, just, overall pretty good deck. I'm a big fan. Alright, for the Edlich deck, okay, I swear to God, and I'm not joking, this is nothing new to me, because this is how I've been deck building Edlich forever. And again, people were like, why are you playing so many floodgates in your deck? I don't know, man, it just gives me like such a better high win rate. Man, it's crazy. The only thing I don't really like is that he's not playing Solemn Strike. But you know what, I'll let it slide, because Judgment makes sense when you're protecting floodgates. So this is completely acceptable. And apart from that, I mean, this deck list is straight up terrifying. It's extremely overpowered going second. All you're really missing, like I said, would be that Solemn Strike, and your deck list is just flawless. Because the thing is, Solemn Strike plus a Floodgate actually breaks boards on its own. It's like a 2-card combo. It's pretty much like Dark Ruler plus Mystic Mine, basically. And 3 Eldritch Golden Lord, I also don't really like that too much, because people are not playing Ice Dragon's Prison in the format, and they're also not playing DD Crow and stuff like that. Well, you know what, if you play against Ostrich, well, Flunderies, you kind of could get cucked, but I'm not a big fan of 3 because it's pretty bad to draw. It's always bad to draw going first, obviously, and it's more often than not bad to draw going second. It just gets negated. And another thing is that if you draw duplicates, you're screwed. So if you play 2, it's still pretty good, and you obviously don't need to go into 3 to win your games. But yeah, 2 Cursed Outland because it's semi-limited, 1 Black Awakening and 1 White Fate, just so your trap cards can be way more aggressive. And triple Extravagance, double Prosperity, 1 Duality. I love, man, thank you so much for playing Duality. It's such a good card. And people will never negate that. Never, 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 never. And yeah, I mean, I wish I had 3 Scale Drain. The side deck is also disgusting. 3 King of the Sky Prison, triple Lava Golem. Now, Lava Golem, the logic behind it actually makes so much sense. Now, you need way less monsters. Well, your opponent needs to have less monsters for you to Lava Golem, and you can actually Lava Golem multiple times in one turn, where Sphere Mode, obviously, it doesn't, you can't, because it's an actual normal summon, whereas Lava Golem, it makes it so you cannot normal summon, but it's not a normal summon itself, so you can Lava Golem twice. Which is pretty cool. If your opponent has like 5 billion negates, you can go like Lava Golem, set 4 pass, and it pretty much game over. Time has been called, and then on my turn I go freaking flip a Floodgate, and then you can't summon I don't know, Pyro Fire or something like that. Fiend Fire. Jesus. Regardless, you're dead. So yeah, Lava Golem is nice, way better than the Hand Traps. I would not be playing Hand Traps at all. The one issue is when this deck is forced to go first, you actually have a pretty gigantic disadvantage against Evenly and Cosmic Cyclone. Well, not Cosmic Cyclone, but Evenly, yes, because King of the Sky Prison only protects you from destruction by card effects. But these guys just don't care. Triple Twin, Lightning Storm, Double Twin, yeah, not really. People are just not respecting Eldlich, and this is the reason why Eldlich is doing so well, because people are so focused at trying to beat Phantom Knight that they just can't afford to respect other decks. So everybody gets a free win, even in like a format that is heavily dominated by one specific deck, because it's way too powerful. But yeah, the extra deck, I don't really have to care about it. And for the rest of the side deck, I'm actually also pretty surprised to see Super Polymerization, but these board breaker cards are just nasty. They're like the most powerful ones. Lava Golem, Super Poly, Evenly, oh my god. If your opponent doesn't end on negates, Evenly is game over. Lyrilas Tri Brigade, you go for the Wind Bear statue, I go Evenly, you're dead. Literally everything and you're dead. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, I'm actually going to make a card review on this card. Same thing with Light Imprisoning Mirror, I think both are super interesting. They're very powerful cards. Some of the most powerful floodgates we've ever seen in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! But a lot of people don't actually know what they actually do. Basically, dark floodgates, so you can't do anything that relies on darks, and Light Imprisoning Mirror would be the same thing for light. Well, you can still special summon them, but not really activate their effects. And the Light Imprisoning Mirror wouldn't really work because your own Edlich the Golden Lord is a light attribute monster. But obviously, resolving Shadow Imprisoning Mirror against Phantom Knight is absolute game over. Your opponent cannot, like, just try to break it. No Phoenix Enforcer to try to pop it. No Break Sword. This deck doesn't play Phoenix, so it's even worse. Unicorn is dark, but you can't go for it, so... Oh my god, literally everything you need to go... Okay, maybe Zeus is like that one out, but still, for the most part, you should be gooch. Anyway, Sword Soul now. Sword Soul is also kind of that streamlined deck that people are just kind of making it so there's only one correct way to play it, but at the same time, it just keeps on changing every single time. So there was a time where people were main decking Dimension Shifter and Sword Soul, and that was actually like last format. No, sorry, last OCG metagame breakdown. And now all of a sudden they're just not doing that anymore because people are playing Flunderies like crazy. So because of that, since Shifter is useless against Flunderies, Borderline helps them. You cannot play Shifter in the main deck, you have to be siding it instead. And the deck is just, I like Sword Soul a lot though. 3 Long Yuan, 3 Moye, only 2 Taiyus, so your grind game is like a bit worse, but still 3 Ecclesia. And then yeah, the Phoenix Enforcer cards, which I'm a huge fan of. No Desires because you might be banishing them, but Prosperity instead. That was the deck list, something similar to that I played on my live stream. A lot of people actually said that they didn't really appreciate the Destiny Hero package in Sword Soul, but for me it worked out really well. My win rate was really high, and of course I was trying to minimize the amount of hand traps because I just believe that hand traps are incredibly weak cards. More often than not, they do nothing, and if you go second against Drytron and they draw the nuts, you were losing even if you were drawing hand traps. So let's be completely real right there. But yeah, whatever else would be 3 Rhoda, 1 Monster Reborn, 2 Sudden Shift, no Gold Sark, interesting, and then 3 Judgment, 1 Imperial Order, 1 Vanity's Emptiness. Oh my god. Yeah, when you get to play Vanity's Emptiness on top of your combo, that's kind of nasty. This Flunderies player not even playing Vanity's Emptiness. He's just like, you know what, I want to be a nice guy today. Oh man. But yeah, even the side deck is pretty interesting. Dark Rebellion, Overlord, Zeus combo. Everybody is on that, man. The freaking Phantom Knight deck, the Flunderies deck. No, sorry, not the Phantom Knight. Phantom Knight and Sword Soul. So yeah, just gaining a lot in popularity. And Token Collector is also pretty popular as well. I'm not a big fan, again, like I said, against the Brave token deck. And this player is also not playing the Shooting Riser Dragon, which actually saw a lot in popularity. People were doing like Shooting Riser, send Artifact Scythe, and then they were going Baroness, and then during the opponent's standby phase, return Baroness to revive back the Scythe. But I actually think this is pretty trash, because if your opponent can actually grind it out, you lose. If your opponent has Chalice or Imperm or Forbidden Droplet, you lose. You only win through Dark Ruler. That's literally the only thing that you really play through. But obviously, Sudden Shift is that card that kind of makes it so Dark Ruler doesn't really screw you over that hard. And Imperial Order, obviously, on top of that. And Solemn Judgment. And Vanity's Emptiness. Every single trap card, basically. Technically even Cross Out, but like, whatever. Yeah, in conclusion, Phantom Knights are just, without a doubt, the best deck to play. Oh my god, 6 consecutive weeks they're the best deck. And yeah, exactly like I said last OCG Metagame Breakdown. This is crazy how the author of this article is saying the exact same thing. When world champions are consistently doing well with the same deck, you know that that deck is pretty freaking good. It speaks volume when 2 world champions have chosen to play Destiny Hero Brave Phantom Knights for this format. Exactly like I said. The title of my video was like World Champions Domination, and it is absolutely accurate now because the best players are playing Phantom Knight, even though before they were actually playing Sword Soul. I think there was a picture of a 3v3 team of like Shunsuke, was it Kuki, and Ryosuke Tsujimura. They were all playing Sword Soul, pretty much the same deck list. But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it for this OCG metagame breakdown. I did take quite a while for this time, but let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.